Rock and roll Chicago, rock and roll Chicago, my hometown. Well, I was born in the city, gonna rock the city, Chicago. Chicago rock and rollers are the best here around.
Hey, this is Paul Martin
and Ray the Roadie
for the Rock and Roll Chicago podcast.
Here we are, another week down.
Yeah, well, you got another week in, and this week we have a kind of a unique band this week, I would say. Wouldn't you say so, Ray?
I'd say so. It's a horn band, right?
No, it's not a horn band. No.
Oh, okay.
No,
all right.
It's a string band, and with cello, violin, sometimes a violin, and they're just very unique, and they're called Strung Out.
That's where they got the name. The strings, the strung. Okay.
Yes.
Otherwise, they'd probably be if they had any horns, they'd probably be horned out.
It could be. Yes, it could be.
That'd be a good name for them, but.
Yeah.
I was looking around on our past episodes and taking a look to see who's all out there listening to us, and I just want to thank a few of our friends out there. Of course, everybody in the United States that's downloaded and listened to the shows. We thank you, but we also have friends in Canada, Finland, United Kingdom, Denmark, Mexico, Poland, Colombia, Singapore, Guatemala, Germany, Hungary, South Africa, Ireland, and Spain.
Wow, very cool.
Gracias to everybody out there.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for everyone for listening and tuning in and becoming letting this become a part of what we do, and hope you're enjoying it. I'm
sure they are, because I know I am.
Well, yeah. So what do you say we get to Strung Out right now and get some insight into that band and see what they're all about?
We should do that. I'm hanging on a thread.
All right, here we go. Hey, this is Paul Martin
and Ray the Roadie
for the Rock and Roll Chicago podcast.
Joining us tonight are Jeff, Tom, Ted, and John of Strung Out.
Well, you're not giving their last names?
No, I'm not. Last week I had difficulty, and this week I'm not going to do it again.
It's like Elvis, Cher, Fabian, Madonna. We just go by the first names only.
That's good.
It's like Cher. Everybody's Cher. So how you guys doing?
Good. Really good.
Glad to have you out here tonight. Appreciate it.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having us. Absolutely.
Yeah. So tell us first of all how the band got started.
Okay. It's me, Jeff. Not Jeff James, our drummer, who is missing, but the other Jeff. Back in, I guess it's now 2012.
No, it's 2019 right now.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got that.
Oh, you're
it's a flashback.
You're flashing. Yeah.
But we started back in 2012. Tom Culver, our cello player, and our drummer Jeff James and I were playing in the Blues Brothers.
Oh, okay.
The Blues Brothers tribute band. And one day Tom came up to me and said, I was playing the Jake character. Tom was playing bass in that band. And he came up to me and said, hey, I'd like to play my cello in a band. Are you interested in doing something?
And you said, you play cello?
I had no idea. I had no idea Tom was a cello player. So that's kind of how it started. Tom, Jeff, and I just were kicking around ideas, just trying to find the way to do it, how to do it, and long story short, Jeff knew Ted Spaniak, our guitar player, piano player, singer.
We were also playing in a band together. Jeff was in two bands.
Yeah.
The drummer Jeff.
The drummer Jeff James.
And he said,
what
hey.
band was that?
That was the Fret Brothers.
Okay.
And
yeah,
things weren't going well, and Jeff and I had a contingency plan. We said, if something goes wrong, I know these guys. And of course, it went wrong.
Yeah, but yeah, and then so once we had Ted, we're like, okay, well, let's just find a good bass player. And after a small amount of hunting, I had jammed with John like the year before, and I said, I know this guy John. He's, he's been around. He's a great player. I think he'd fit in. And sure enough, we put it together, and off we went. And it evolved into basically what we do now, which is primarily 70s music. We do it I like to call it original cover music because the music we play is not covered a lot. It's cover songs, but you don't hear stuff that we play by a lot of other bands.
Well, with the cello, you can play things that other band nobody can play.
And
There's always room for cello.
That's
Before we go on any further, cello shots for everybody?
Well, the thing about Tommy's cello is that sometimes it sounds like a cello, and sometimes with his pedals it doesn't sound like a cello. He adds distortion, and it just adds lots of balls, and or other effects. That's been the hardest thing about trying to sell Strung Out at the beginning was how do you describe to someone an electric cello in the band? And it's very hard. You sort of have to hear it and see how it fits in. And once people hear it and see it, they love it. Tommy's our chick.
Chick singer.
Well, that was it. I mean, it became like this idea where, we'd all played in bands for a long time, and we wanted to do something different. And we kind of fell into the 70s idea because it's music basically we grew up with. And, not to take anything away, but there's a ton of great bands out there playing 80s music and things like that. And we're like, we didn't even want to compete in that market, to be honest with you. I mean, we kind of found a niche that, thankfully, surprisingly to some degree, people just latched onto,
Well, I kind of grew up with 70s stuff myself.
Yeah, right, exactly.
So I know where you're coming from.
Yeah. But, our thing was that, when I said 70s band to people, they're like, oh, disco?
Right.
It's like, no. We play some disco, but that's not the kind of band we are. We play, it's Led Zeppelin and Black Sabbath and Deep Purple and, one hit wonders. Absolutely. I know. The stuff that people...
There's so much to choose from.
Yeah. So... So that's kind of how it's still evolving. I mean, we come up with stuff all the time that
Well, nobody can do ELO. You guys can.
Right. That's a fact.
That's just nobody can do that.
Yeah.
You have to have the strings to do that.
Yeah. I think we just like doing the diversity. There's nothing better than seeing the faces of people when you do Black Sabbath and then followed up by John Denver.
Right.
It's just, we were actually thinking about calling the band after a while Whiplash because that's just like, but it's kind of cool to see that,
Yeah, really. I mean, I think we've always kind of felt anything goes as long as it was basically 70s music,
You're not going to get a band that's going to play, like you said, Black Sabbath, and then the next song is Brandy, or
we did last,
or a Leo Sayer song, and then we're doing Car Wash, and then we're,
I love Car Wash. Don't mess with that Car Wash.
You know what? And we look. That was a new learn for us, and we're thinking Car Wash. People are going to use. They want to hear Led Zeppelin. They want to hear Black Sabbath. We're like, okay, let's do it. And we start the, and all of a sudden the dance floor just
you can't tell me that the 70s weren't the greatest decade of music. You can't tell me. You can argue with me, you'll lose because the 70s to me.
And he's got a gun.
Yeah. The 70s to me was took all that great experimental stuff of the 60s and they really refined it in the 70s. And then the 70s you had. Turn on your radio. You turn on the AM radio, and you heard everything. Yeah. Different bands, diversity, music of all sorts, and
look how much
players
music you're hearing now in movies and radio and television.
Oh, sure,
it's all over the place.
At Mariano's,
exactly. I'm shopping and I hear this stuff now.
Right. Yeah. So so it was really, I think to most of us. I mean, Tom's, I'm not going to tell our ages, but Tom's the youngest guy here, and Tom basically had the K-Tel collection Remember all those great
I got them
records?
all. Smash hits. Yes.
And once we decided on the 70s thing, he's like, how about this? And how about this? We're like, you're nuts. But quite honestly, some of that stuff's become the most popular stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And people who relate to it go, you brought so many memories back. And I was in junior high or I was in high school and this or that. And, it's a lot take. I mean,
kind of in the business of selling memories in some ways.
Yeah, I mean,
we're also lucky that Tom's an incredible transcriber. I mean, we'll take a double guitar solo or a 3-part thing. You'll tear it apart. You'll write it all out, and so we get to authentically produce what's there because you're good at that. And
There's 20 out here.
So we can kind of play anything. Kind of, sort of.
Yeah. We've hit some walls.
We played a couple of...
Yeah, but I think it's more of impatience than anything. Not that we couldn't do certain things. It's just because we let's move on.
Why are you looking at me when you say that?
No, we're just you're right across from me.
Sometimes you come across a song and you think, this is easy.
I know where you're going.
Love grows where my rosemary goes. Forget about it. This is the most convoluted arrangement you can.
Frankenstein, we thought, this is going to be, it's got so many parts to it and everything. And we all kind of did our homework, came to rehearsal, and blah, 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 blah.
Right off the bat.
Played it once and went, okay then.
And it's one of
then
the...
you got Rosemary, Love Grows Where My Rosemary
Simple
Goes.
song. And
I can not even easy to say. And it just took us forever, and we finally just scrapped it.
Yeah,
You never know.
Yeah.
Do you guys have anything original? Have you guys written anything?
With this band does not. Ted is a prolific songwriter. Actually, Ted has another group that he's playing with now called Loretta Lane, which is your buddy from grammar school.
Right.
And they just put out like last year, right, a record of all original material.
Love and Trouble.
Great stuff. But this band we have not really gone into the original route. We basically stuck with what we started with and what's been working and what's been growing,
Because I said, please don't let me write anything for you. Please don't do any songs ever. Please don't. They were like,
I can tell you're very passionate about it.
But this band it's just, like I said, it's just cover music. We try and, represent the 70s in a way that, I think only we can do, like I said, with the cello and the arrangements we come up with.
What's really fun about it is you grow up hearing these great songs like Frankenstein or like the Abbey Road, the last 8 minutes of Abbey Road, right? Or 5 minutes or whatever the last part of it is. We thought it was going to be really hard to learn. It's going to take us forever. We talked about it for years. It didn't take any time at all because we all had the music in our head.
It's kind of innate.
Like, so when you reproduce it, it's like, I'm reproducing his music. It's very exciting. It's fun to be. It's just fun to be in this band.
Yeah,
and we all like each other. We've only had.
Yeah, the Monkees nearly broke us up. But it was fine. I mean,
I'm sorry to hear that.
But then Jeff has gone too.
One of the big things that we do is we put medleys together from some of the most iconic bands. So we'll play medleys of Led Zeppelin, Deep Purple, The Who, Black Sabbath, Three Dog Night. Right. I mean, and Tom is really good at arranging those things. So, when we always were like, well, the Monkees, 1966, but it kind of fits what we do in our audience. And so we came up with the mother of all Monkees medleys. And that went through some changes, but people love it. But people love it.
Well, we pared it down from 9 songs to 6.
Right.
It was ridiculous.
I wasn't like totally.
Were there 9 Monkey songs that were popular?
Yeah, you don't realize until you start going.
We had to pare it down from 15 to 9.
So.
I'm sorry.
I wasn't totally on board with it, because it was 60s.
Yeah.
I wasn't a big Monkees fan, honestly.
He was attacked by a monkey at Brookfield.
I can see that.
I'm like, I'll try anything, So I said, okay, let's try it. We did it the first time. I forget where we did it, and it just got a huge
people go nuts.
I'm like, well, I stand corrected. It's in every show now.
So now, Tom and Jeff, you guys came from the Blues Brothers,
right?
Yeah,
right.
Now, what about the two of you?
Well, the last band I was in before this was the Karen Hart Band.
Oh, okay.
I was with them for about 5 years. I mean, that's the most recent.
Then the 80s thing you did for a long time, too.
I did an 80s band, Selective Recall, band called Selective Recall, with Chris Valentine.
Sure, I met Selective Recall several times.
Yeah.
I mean, all the time.
Yeah.
Once a month.
I was there, I was with them from like 2002 to 2008.
Yeah, we probably worked together.
Yeah, probably. It's all kind of a blur. We worked a lot, so I can't remember a lot of it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But
what about you, Ted?
I'll make a long story as short as possible. From 82 to 92, I was in a duo called Take Two with my wife. It was a lounge duo. It worked 50 weeks a year, 5 nights a week.
Wow.
Back in the day when you could do that. Sure. A lot of MIDI stuff, just way too many machines. Never want to do that again. But we made a living back in those days. I got out of that.
You play guitar?
I play guitar and keys.
Yeah.
And she played keys and sang. My wife, Nancy. I went to college, got a degree in English, and taught. I just retired. I taught English for about 20 years. I got in a band called the Manic Flamingos, which was a 6-piece. It was kind of like 2 guitars, bass, drums, keys, and Nancy singing. Got up to the Front Brothers, and now it's the Strung Out experience.
And what's Nancy do?
Nancy is the director of curriculum at HF, and she's going to retire in a year.
At home with Foster?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Not too far from here.
No.
So what is the difference between a subordinate clause and a prepositional phrase?
Do you really want to know?
Yeah, he'll tell you. Believe me.
Edit. So since
I really wish I could talk about it, but I know no one wants to hear it.
I know.
So since
Did you know the terms though? That's pretty good.
You guys can talk later.
Yeah. There's another
After the
just
show,
like
we'll get we'll talk English.
All right.
So Ted gave you some shout outs a couple minutes ago, so I got to give some to him. So usually you play with a guitar player who can play a little keyboards, or a keyboard player who can play a little bit of guitar. Ted's a unique breed because you hear him play keyboard and you go, oh my gosh, he's picking up a guitar, he's probably going to be okay, and all of a sudden he picks up guitar and it's just amazing. So it's kind of a cool thing. And also, Jeff over here not only sings, he's got a great voice, but also is a multi-instrument in guitar and keyboard. So there's always just this circus-y type of thing going on there. They're changing over here. They're changing over here. I also, in the band, I played cello and violin. So, John, you're the only one who just kind of sits. Maybe he's a drummer. He goes between a 5 and a 4 string.
Yeah, I need to get some props out for Paul, too. Paul plays a Stratocaster and a Telecaster. So 2 different instruments. My God.
Yes. And he's a newscaster.
Yeah. Well, we should mention, too, our illustrious drummer, Jeff James.
God.
I mean, Tom, you could probably talk more about him.
Well, yeah, I did a lot of jobbing in the 80s and 90s, I guess you could say, on bass, because it pays better bills than the cello does. But so he's a chameleon. He can sit in with anyone. He's played with like the Coasters, the Drifters. Anyway, if you had an ER at the end of your band's name, he's pretty much played.
Well,
with
the thing about Jeff, sorry for interrupting you.
Yeah, sure, no
I played with a zillion drummers, and there's always something that can't play.
Right.
We have never run into anything that Jeff can't play.
No.
Nothing. It's really amazing.
And he sings, which is...
And he sings, yes. Yeah. And he will tell you what the interval is.
Right.
He solves
he
problems.
understands
Like, you're a
music.
drummer. What are you talking about?
He understands music better than me.
He knows music
that's for
theory
sure.
and stuff, which is kind of cool.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
No drummer jokes by him. So
Well, there's been a lot of talk about you, Tom. What's your background?
What's my background? Well, I guess you could say I'm classically trained. about 8th grade, there was a bass player in the back of the orchestra who couldn't figure things out. So I thought, I'm going to grab an upright bass from the back room and see if I can figure this out. So I went back there, joined them, tuned it just like a cello, which is in fifths. Basses are in
You had played cello?
I played cello, yeah,
Already?
since I was 8 years old. Yeah.
Okay.
So that was kind of my introduction. I tuned it like until I got to some jazz festival one time, and my electric bass was tuned like a cello. And this senior came in. I was a freshman, little kid. This guy was big, and he's from Tennessee or something. He came in and said, "Let me try your." It was a old Fender pre-CBS bass. So he's like, "Let me try that," and he picks it up and he starts playing it. It's in fifths, and he goes, "What the heck is this?" I felt about this tall. I'm like, "All right, I'll tune it the right way," So I started doing that, and then started playing in bands, and playing it the right way. And so it's been a kind of a marriage of my classical training. I also went to college for classical as well. So and then playing in rock bands all my life. So it's this band is a kind of a natural fit for me because of the fact that we do quite a bit of ELO,
right?
And the rock stuff too. So
is cello something you wanted to play when you were a kid?
Yeah, I think my sister played violin, and I said, I don't want to do that. Because you don't want to do anything your sibling does. So.
I'll never forget when I met with the two Jeffs, and we were talking about putting the band together, and Jeff Sismelik over here was like, Tom wants to play cello all the time. I'm like, what? How could he play cello on every song? It's impossible. And it's true. It's
unheard of.
Yeah. The band went through many different, inceptions, I guess. And
yeah, it was, we started before Ted with, we're trying to do acoustic guitar players with, acoustic cello. We didn't know where it was going. Right. Like I said, so, yeah, the evolution took about, not that long. Probably 5-6 months before we met Ted.
The first time we got together, when I was solo, we started playing Reeling in the Years, and we both knew the solo, and we were doing the double solo first time through, and that was like, okay, we got to do this.
Yeah.
So,
it's a cool sound.
Yeah.
And I'll finish your thought, too. Tom teaches, he's an orchestra teacher for junior high kids. So he brings a lot of, his love of classical music, and classic rock to these kids, and it's
you had them playing Zeppelin tunes. What'd you have them doing?
Oh, we did Kashmir. Just a lot of things like that. We bring this Jeff in and the drummer Jeff in, so the kids get a taste of real rock. I mean, older rock stars, so to speak. So it's kind of cool. The kids get a kick out of that, and really,
it's a cautionary tale.
It's a unique experience for them. So.
Yeah.
So Ted, you've got, I was looking at on your website, you've got some stuff you've been doing. It says you got a lot of music on like A&E and all these cable.
I did do some, I worked with a producer for a while who had me do some soundtracks for A&E and WTTW and it was American Justice with Bill Curtis. There were some of those. It's it's like story about a murderer. Okay, we need some good acoustic guitar music for this part where he murders.
Guitar murder music.
Yeah. It was fun. So
my wife is really into the ID channel right now, and which is all about all about murders and suspense and whatever.
Yeah.
And I said to her one day, I said, should I be worried about something? Because she's like, are you trying to plot my murder?
Yeah.
Well, if she does, we got music for you.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah. Got the soundtrack of your death.
Yeah.
When her purse opens up and Ted's card falls out.
That's right. Red flag. Yeah.
So where are you guys going forward now? Is anything changing? Any new music, or just going to keep doing the same thing?
Yeah, the band plays. The past 2 years, we've been playing 10 months out of the year. Mm-hmm. We basically take January and February off, and that's where we learn our new music. We've got
new old music,
right? Yeah. So we've got a fistful of some newer stuff that we're playing now that the fest season and the bar season's kicked up. So yeah, we try and keep the material fresh. For sure. We always, we're lucky that we have a lot of good regular folks following us. That come out pretty regularly. So we do it to keep them entertained and us interested.
I always get worried that we're boring the regulars. And apparently we're not. So.
Yeah.
So to keep it fresh.
So you take January and February off when you could be on the cruise ship.
That's
doing the cruise ship gigs.
Yeah, I just don't like moving equipment in the cold.
I know what they're there.
Definitely.
Yeah, I just want someone to come out sometime with a guitar and put it around my, put it around my shoulder in the middle of a gig.
So we need a crew.
Yeah,
Exactly.
just even pretend the guitar breaks down and have somebody come out.
Right.
I don't care. Just somebody run out from the wings and fix my guitar.
As long as it's in tune, right?
Yeah, right.
When the string breaks, you just look and here. So what you guys got? Go ahead.
I was going to say, Jeff, tell me about the Way Cool Rhythm Pools. And the influence from there.
Yeah, well, that's, I mean, the Way Cool Rhythm Pools, I was in that band for basically 20 years off and on. It was just a horn band.
The reason I asked about it because I'm kind of familiar with the band.
Yeah, I know. Well, I was going to say, because there was a horn band in the 80s. And, we were competing with the Dancing Noodles, and the Dancing Noodles sucked all the oxygen out of the market. But we had a great time in that band. It was a lot of fun, yeah. And, a lot of, my best friends were made in that band, my oldest friends, but that was...
Now, you guys did a show at the Blue Chip Casino. I remember you came back and did a show.
Yeah.
Now, that was after the band had broke it up?
Yeah, right. That was like phase 3 or there were like 4 of the original guys left, but yeah, we did that.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a good band. I mean, for like I said, it was the 80s. Horn bands were big, and
and horn bands.
Yeah, horn bands.
Yeah,
timing on that. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
No, I said don't mention horn bands. Then he gets excited.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because had it not been for that band, I would have probably never met Tom.
Yeah.
Because
we were looking for the Blues Brothers had started in 91, 92, I think, and we had kind of gone through our Jake, and it was time for him to go other places, and so we were looking around, and I think we put an ad in the Illinois Entertainer or something like that. I don't remember what it was, Trading Times or something.
Oh, really?
And you replied to that, and I went out and saw you at a bowling alley.
I think it was, the Willowbrook Bowl.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, oh, this guy's going to be great. So took the rest of the band out and saw him. And
now you guys aren't doing anything else with the Blues Brothers.
No, we're still pretty tight with those guys.
Yeah. I actually sat in with them last year when their current Jake couldn't make a show. I did a show with them. I know
I've subbed with them
he subbed with us a few times. Yeah. So it's all very good and friendly. They're good friends and great people.
Good guys, good band.
So you're friends with Kevin Klein.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Kevin.
Not the Kevin Klein.
Well, it's funny because Kevin Klein is the trombone player, and I know
the one and only.
But the trombone player, I know, and I know he played with you guys in the Noodles.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
But it was funny because I walked into the Blues Brothers, like the first rehearsal I ever had, and there's Kevin Klein. I played trombone in high school, and I sat right next to Kevin Klein for 3 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I was stunned that it was Kevin, and it was.
What high school was that?
Brother Rice. Yeah.
So what do you guys got coming up this summer?
We've got a pretty full dance card. Our schedule for anyone who's interested is at strungoutband.com or Strung Out Chicago on Facebook. It's like
thank you for the complimentary.
I supplied the schedule for you, but all kinds of fun festivals.
You guys are keeping pretty busy.
Yeah.
You guys are doing that thing in Bolingbrook with 5 Guys in Cadillac Groove,
right? I know. Yeah, you talked to both of those guys.
Yeah.
Yep. We're that was an idea that just sort of came from hey, we should play something together, and then and we've been able to do that, and
that's very cool.
That should be a lot of fun.
When is that?
That's in August.
August 9th. Tailgaters in Bolingbrook.
Right.
3 bands, no waiting.
Yes.
This podcast brought to you by Tailgaters in Bolingbrook.
Yeah, we've got we're here in Frankfurt. We'll be at the Frankfurt Fall Fest. We've got the Naperville Last Fling is on the schedule this year, so we've got some fun ones that we're looking forward to, as well as a lot of just local festivals, concert in the parks, things like that. So online you can find out all about those things. So
yes,
alrighty then. Okay, guys. All righty. Well, thanks for coming out.
Thanks, it was groovy.
Thanks for
It was
having
a lot
us.
of
Thank
fun.
you.
Good to meet you guys and talk with you.
Yeah, it was. Whenever M&R needs an opening act, Paul, you let us know. Okay,
Yeah, we'll keep you posted.
yeah.
We'll call you.
Yeah.
Don't call us now. We'll call you.
You probably do that song too.
We tried it. Yeah, something didn't work out. Yeah. Too darn hard.
I think we're going back to it though. I got it. Yeah.
Really good one.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, that was another fun episode with those guys, wasn't it, Ray?
Those guys are hilarious. I had a good time. Learned a lot about the cello and the violin, too.
Yes, we did. We were educated on the cello.
It seems like every week we're getting more and more educated in something.
Yes, we are. Well, I want to thank everyone for listening and all our friends in all those countries that Ray mentioned earlier.
Definitely. Especially the people here in the United States. You guys are a great group. You guys keep listening every day. It's awesome. And now that the summer's upon us, you'll probably be seeing us out and about at some of these festivals. You know, if you see us, stop by, say hey.
Yes. Come out and say hello. Thanks again for listening. Be sure and check us out and join our page and download everything and share everything if you can. And we'll see you next week when we will bring you a surprise guest.
That's right. Surprise. Okay. See everybody next Tuesday. Have a great week.
Thank you.
Chicago, rock and roll.